On a time-worn stage set in early 17th century Bohemia, tensions simmered beneath the surface like restless embers, waiting for a spark. In a land straddling modern-day Czech Republic where history and myth entwine, conflicting religious and political forces clashed. At the epicenter was Prague, a vibrant city echoing with whispers of turmoil and hope. Against this volatile backdrop, the seeds of a dramatic event had been sown, foretelling an occurrence that would alter the course of European history. This narrative invites you to explore a remarkable moment when defiance burst forth in a most unexpected way in dramatic silence. For centuries, Bohemia had been a melting pot of diverse traditions and beliefs, where deep religious convictions intermingled with the quest for political autonomy. As the Catholic Church fortified its influence through the Counter-Reformation, Protestant nobles grew increasingly resentful of what they viewed as oppressive control over their lives and beliefs. This simmering discontent was not merely theological but also steeped in political aspirations, as both sides vied for power and respect. The lands of Bohemia became a stage for bitter disputes over rights, governance, and identity, setting off a chain reaction. The intertwined struggles and rivalries inevitably converged in the heart of Prague, priming the scene for revolution. The simmering unrest signaled that the future of Bohemia teetered on a precipice with profound urgency. Within the formidable walls of Prague Castle, an atmosphere of imminent conflict took shape as Protestant nobles gathered with resolute determination. Their eyes burned with a mix of anger and hope, fueled by years of perceived injustice under Catholic rule. Inside the ancient corridors, the tension was palpable, every stone echoing silent grievances and confrontation. This meeting was not a mere political assembly but a deliberate stand against authority, as the nobles confronted dedicated Catholic officials with demands for freedom and recognition. The historic castle, long a symbol of power, now served as a dramatic stage where the brewing conflict was ready to erupt into actions that defied oppression. Every heartbeat within the castle walls echoed the resolve and determination to firmly overturn unjust order. At a critical juncture, the stage was set for an act that would shock and redefine history. In a moment of heated defiance at Prague Castle, determined Protestant nobles made the startling decision to cast two royal Catholic regents and their secretary out of a third-story window. The swift motion of bodies and the sudden rush of air marked a dramatic turning point in the narrative of Bohemia. Witnesses saw a blur of motion and heard a collective gasp, as the very act of throwing men from a window symbolized an explosive declaration against the imposition of authority. This daring act resonated deeply as a challenge to centuries-old traditions. Every eye in Prague bore witness to the audacity of a revolt that shattered old conventions. In an astonishing twist, the men hurled from the window survived what should have been a fatal fall, sparking wildly divergent reactions among the onlookers. Catholic supporters quickly asserted that divine intervention, perhaps through the intervention of angels, had shielded the men from harm. In contrast, many Protestant observers maintained a more pragmatic view, suggesting that a less than glamorous landing in a heap of dung saved the lives of these contentious figures. The narratives that sprung from the incident reflected not only religious fervor but also the deep political divisions of the time, turning a near-miraculous survival into a potent symbol of resistance and differing belief. This surreal outcome sparked debates far beyond Prague, leaving its mark as a mystery interwoven with faith and defiance indeed. Almost immediately after the incident, the air in Prague vibrated with the echoes of civil unrest, as news of the defiant act spread like wildfire. This singular moment set in motion a relentless chain reaction that escalated into the monumental 30 Years' War. Across Europe, alliances were redrawn and historic grievances came roaring back to life. Many regions found themselves swept up in a tide of conflict that blurred religious, political, and personal boundaries. The sudden eruption of war reshaped the continent's map and redefined power structures, proving that one dramatic moment in a single city could ignite chaos and prolonged struggle on an epic scale. This turbulent aftermath blurred the lines between right and wrong, leaving a legacy of irreversible transformation across Europe. Truly reflecting on the extraordinary events, the memory of the Defenestration of Prague remains a vivid reminder of the volatile interplay between power, belief, and human rebellion. Over centuries, this incident has inspired debates among historians and common folk alike, each interpretation adding layers to its enduring mystery. The miraculous survival and the polarized reactions have cemented its place in cultural lore, symbolizing that sometimes, even the most dramatic actions can spark profound change. The story of those fateful moments encourages us to question authority, appreciate diverse viewpoints, and understand that history is a tapestry woven with courage and unexpected twists. In the end, this legendary defiance teaches us to value freedom and innovation while reminding us that every historic choice bears consequences with sincere hope.